sweaty mess right there. You're welcome. Whew. All right. Oh wait, I have to go swimming. Gotta go swimming in the ocean. I'll be right back. I gotta go for a swim in the ocean and cool off after that. Ah! Oh man. I found a bottle in the ocean. Oh yeah, guys, I have these emotes. If you're subscribed, whenever I find a bottle in the ocean, please use these emotes. Please. Worthy, hello. If you are subscribed, guys, new emote came out last week. Yes, I went swimming and I found a bottle that has a message in it, and we're gonna respond to it. I'm gonna read it here. I want you all to pay attention. Maybe you need help in this situation. Maybe you just need to hear it, whatever it is. Maybe you know someone going through it that you could help them out. Maybe you have some advice you could give the person that I'm gonna give advice to. Yeah, I just did 3 miles on my bike on stream. Whew. If you have a question, please go to this message here, this link. Rob's sending out bottles, yeah. I guess so. No. Hey, Addie. How are you? You made it in time for my last message. And then I'm gonna be doing GeoGuessr. Oh man, so sweaty. I do not like it with this shirt. I don't have like the proper attire and it's gross. Gross feeling. Oh, I'm thirsty. Okay. Whew. Sorry, I'm really tired. Let me just relax a little bit. We're gonna get serious now. We're gonna see what's in this bottle. What message awaits? Let's hear the voice of the person within. All right. Let me move over a little bit again. Make some room. Aw, that's nice that you get to be here for some of it. You can always watch the VOD. I'm gonna be making YouTube videos of each message so people can see them on my channel when I start telling people about my channel. I'm working on it. All right. Everyone ready? I just want to make sure that it's showing up right. Okay. This person says, I need advice on standing up to parents that keep turning onto me even though I've done nothing wrong. In a situation when they take everything out on me. How to deal with it. Anonymous. I'm not going to do that now, Worthy. I don't do it during my messages, but I'll do it right after, okay? So if you could wait until I'm done with this message, I'd appreciate it. So I will read this message one more time before I respond to it. I need advice on standing up to parents that keep turning on to me, even though I've done nothing wrong. In a situation where they take everything out on me. How to deal with it? Anonymous. All right, Anonymous. Not a lot of details here, so I don't know how old you are. I will say that regardless of your age, parents do often have their best intentions in mind for their children. They do. They love them, but they don't always do the right thing towards them or for them. I know this. I understand this. I have been a child of parents, and I am a parent. So I understand these things in different perspectives. Many times parents get stressed out with possible things that they are keeping from you. Regardless of whatever is going on in their life, many parents take out their aggressions on their children as a way to feel in control of something. okay? It doesn't make it right at all, but I've heard countless stories of people feeling this way, and this is called displacement. So I just want you to know. Here. Whoops, I forgot to do this. Here we go. Displacement. Okay? This says redirecting of thoughts, feelings, and impulses from one person or object to another who poses less threat. Example, unable to express anger to boss for fear of being fired, displaces anger into others, spouse, pet, etc. Okay? So, how does this work? Say you have a lot of stress. So this is, I'm using the example they're giving. Like offloading, yeah. So the example that they give. If you have a lot of stress at work and your boss has not treated you well, or simply the stress has engulfed you, you don't want to yell at your boss because you might fear getting fired, right? So you don't want to ask for leniency on the task that you have to do for similar reasons. So instead of trying to work on the issue and trying to maybe talk to your boss about it, you end up going home and abusing someone or something in some way. There are various forms of abuse. Maybe you're just yelling a lot. You're going through so many things that you're just spewing. So your parents might be doing this. They might be coping through, or you even might cope through getting some sort of addiction. Or you might even hurt someone who means a lot to you just as they're hurting someone. People don't know how to handle hard things. It's hard to cope, so they push it down inside. But then they let it out to those who are less threatening. So a lot of parents do this. Let me show you guys the original question again. Let me get it up. I'm gonna read this one more time. I need advice on standing up to parents that keep turning on to me even though I've done nothing wrong in a situation where they take everything out on me. How to deal with it, anonymous. All right, so continuing. Someone close to me actually told me that I could use them as an example for this question. I'm not gonna say their name, but where I literally heard one of their parents, like literally me, I heard one of their parents yell at them for a bit and call them useless when they were teens and we were teens. Then they turned on me and called me something rude, and then they wanted me to leave, so I was driven home. So it was all out of their frustrations and anger that they had within them of dealing with a hard situation. They had really crazy stuff that their parent was dealing with. So instead of trying to encourage their child and to lift them up, they just spouted things because they were so upset and angry at the things around them that it made them feel better to just call their child useless and horrible things that were lies. So much later on in life, this parent actually apologized to their child who had grown into adulthood, and they felt really badly about what they did. And I think they still feel that way, like they feel really a lot of regret. So if your parents, for instance, are yelling at you a lot or taking things out on you, they probably feel horrible afterwards. And I'm not saying that they're doing right at all. There's no excuse for that. Okay? Maybe write them a letter. They can always read and think about it. Maybe you could give your example in just a little bit. I have actually seen how letters... I'm sorry! The parents were sorry. I've actually seen a lot of examples where letters make things worse. But I'll get to things. Hold on. The major issue that comes with this situation is that many times a chain reaction could take form. Hey, Peoria Jack. When someone is treated poorly by someone in this way, they may go to someone else and treat them poorly. So like this thing that the picture that I showed you, it says like maybe someone will kick their dog. You know, so like a boss yells, a boss is going through some stuff on their own with the stress of their work and maybe stuff in their family. They take it out on their employee, who happens to be your parent, who takes it out on you, who is the child, and then you might take it out on a dog or on some other thing. So it just keeps going and going, and maybe the dog starts to become violent even. Like, I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, it's a chain reaction that can happen. So my question to ask you, wow, that's really sad, Obs. Yeah, that is really sad. I don't know if you guys, did you read his message? Oh, because I don't know if you're male or female. I'm so sorry. So their message, you said that your cousin got drunk and his parents publicly said, "We're so ashamed that you are our son. You're a true disgrace to us." That's not going to help their son. It's going to make it worse. Pay it forward, but in a negative way. Yeah. Yeah, butterfly effect. True. So my question to you would be, first, are you able to ask your parents to have a talk and ask them to simply listen to the hurt that they have caused you? I know from experience, when I've tried to do this, my parents aren't good listeners. Maybe your parents are willing to be good listeners, but some parents just aren't. So I understand if this isn't something that will work for you. But at least try. Try to see. It's best to try than not try, honestly. Because if you're holding all this pain in and you're not telling them about your hurt, that could cause you more anxiety and stress, okay? So I do not recommend yelling at them in response. Like, if they're yelling at you, don't yell back at them, because that's going to make it worse. Because then you're going to reflect exactly how they might have treated you, okay? If they are willing to listen and stay calm while you are also calm in explaining how they make you feel, this is very important, okay? You have to stay calm. I know it's hard to stay calm, but you got to try to be so. So they probably know that they have done wrong in what they say, but maybe they don't know how to handle their own feelings of hurting you. And that it's not easy for them to apologize because they have pride issues where it's just like they don't know how to just be like, "Hey, I'm sorry and I'm doing wrong. I'm going to try to change now." They don't know how to do that because they're so set in their ways. And a lot of parents get that way. Even though they should, and they know they should, apologize and try to change. Just take note of how they're acting and make sure that you don't act in the same way. Let me read some of this chat. Anger has always been an easier emotion to fall into when you are stressed, but it's always the one that makes you feel the most regret. Yes. Yeah, so me as a parent, I think in the past, especially, like, not so much now, but in the past, I have yelled at my children, and then afterwards I feel awful. And then I've gone to them and be like, "Hey, I did not do right. I'm so sorry. I'm going to work hard not to do that again." And they were very understanding, and children are very forgiving. And I think that we don't realize how much it hurts a child because they're still growing and learning how to deal with things. Because if I'm going to yell at them, they might become yellers themselves. And I don't want them to grow to be parents who just yell at their kids, because then it's a cycle of where they're going to do that to their kids are going to do that to their kids, and so on and so forth. Hey, Daycurs, I'm sorry, I didn't see you here. Later, you can't sleep because you're thinking of how that person has taken your words the wrong way, so you try to apologize. Yes, I think that's excellent. I think you all have to realize people are not perfect. We all make mistakes. We all say things we don't mean at times. But what we say hurts people like a fire burns a city. And it's going to stay with them for life. Just like watching things like a burning city is going to affect you, and you're going to remember that for life. It could really imprint on you. So we have to be careful in every way with what we say and what we do. So what your parents need to do is they need to be more mindful of how they act. They need to understand how to have self-control. I think self-control is one of the hardest things for people in general to have over anything. Be it like people that are addicted to things. They don't have self-control. They don't know how to put boundaries on their life and on the things that they do. They don't know how to set limits. And the same goes when it comes to anger. People don't know that it's okay to be angry, but to let it out on someone else, like, they need to find someone safe that they could talk to about their anger, like maybe a good friend or something like that. not letting it out on their children who doesn't know how to handle that, you know? They need to think of their actions and how they'll affect your future. And the problem is that you telling them that is not going to help. If you say to them,
wrong,
you know,
sir.
you gotta,
Wrong.
you yelling at me is going to really affect my future. They're going to be like, what? They won't, it's not going to do anything. You're not going to change them. You yourself telling them things is not going to change them. Most parents are not willing to listen to their children's advice or help. I used to try to do that to my parents. Up to this point in my life, I have tried to do that. Most parents will not, unless they are willing. There are some out there that are willing, but most of them are headstrong and prideful about the fact that they are your parent. You know, you need to respect them, that kind of thing. But they might be willing to hear out how they hurt you and think about their actions a little bit better. So that way, next time they're angry, they go to you, that they don't just go bleh, but they actually think things through and go like, wait a second. This is my child who I love. I do not want to hurt them. So I don't know, like, the person who asked this question, I don't know if you're a minor. I know it's very hard for you. Maybe you live with your parents, but know that you won't have to live with your parents forever. Okay? So I'd say work hard, save money, get jobs, hang out with friends. Obviously, during COVID, it's a little hard to hang out with your friends, but I would suggest do whatever you can to not be at home. Stay away from that environment as much as possible. And I understand, again, COVID, you can't really go out and do much right now. So it is a problem. Let me see. You sometimes say stuff that you don't mean. Okay, I already read that. I'm sorry. It could set a negative precedent because we normalize our experiences as children, because that's all we know. So we end up perpetuating the same things unless we are able to step out and recognize what is wrong. That is true. Yeah. I think in life, we always have to look at ourselves. We have to examine ourselves on a regular basis. We have to reflect on the things that we've done and said and how they might cause people, like how are people viewing us? Because even though it doesn't really matter like what people think of you, at the same time, how you perceive yourself to be, if it is like someone that is not a healthy person, if all you see is someone complaining, being bitter and angry, you're not going to want to be around that. So your parents being that way, you don't want to be around them. Who wants to be around someone that they have to be really careful around? Who they're like, I don't know if I could trust this person who I'm supposed to trust, you know? So I think the best way that you could deal with this is by being patient with them if you live with them. Or just be patient with them if you don't live with them. But if you do live with them, you have to be really patient and understanding that they're hurting. I think that's like the number one thing. They're hurting and they don't realize they're hurting while, you know, that whole like hurting people hurt people. They don't realize they're hurting you, but they might realize later that they're hurting you, but they don't know how to stop. And that's the problem. They don't know how to have that self-control. So be more of an adult than your parents and show them your attitude so that it encourages them to change. If you're having a hard time under the heat of their pressure and stress that they're putting on you, find people in your life or another adult who can help act as a mediator for you. Find someone that you could trust, someone that's going to be there to guide you and help you and encourage you, because that's what you need. You need someone that's not going to let you feel down about yourself all the time. You need someone that's going to lift you up and encourage you. And if your parents aren't doing that for you, you need to find someone that will. Because your parents probably aren't going to change. Not by you. You're not going to change them. Like I said, you're not going to change them. So no matter how much you wish that you could and hope that you could, know that you're loved and show them love. Hey, Ricky Burby. They are going through things that are hard too, and they are not treating you well. Okay? They're not treating you well. Yeah. So don't let that destroy you. So like that fire burning the city, don't get engulfed by that fire. Don't let it ruin you, because you're an amazing person, okay? Don't let their actions towards you destroy who you are, ever. Okay? Don't let it break your joy. Hey, Kaylin Dory, hello. Thanks. How you doing? Hope you're well. So if maybe you're an adult, so I don't know if you're a minor or an adult, but maybe you're an adult. Perhaps have a break from them or see less of them. Okay? Sometimes that helps the situation get better. Remember, I'm not a professional psychologist pirate. These are just, I go off of like, I do some research on these situations. Again, what they're doing, what they are doing is displacement, okay? It has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. You haven't done any wrong. So do not let what they are saying to you be something that you feel less of yourself through. You know what I mean by that? So you can't stand up to your parents. As much as you want to, you can't. You can't. They're stubborn. They're set in their ways. That's why I said if it's possible that you could have a calm conversation with them to just express yourself, do it. So before someone mentioned, Oabs, I think you said, write a letter. I've seen where writing a letter makes them more angry, and then they take pieces of your letter and they start cutting it apart piece by piece. Oh, you said this? Yeah, but blah, blah, blah. And then they start, because they're so hurt inside and dealing with their own issues, they start to look at you negatively. I didn't do this because of this, you know, they start taking it piece by piece. And I'm a big letter lover, so I'm just saying, like, personally, in my own life, so last week I mentioned my parents, they stopped talking to me. So I'm gonna get real and personal here for you to help you. My dad, all he ever did was yell at me and stuff like that, okay? And I've always been forgiving. I've always, you know, but there's only so much you can take. So I decided recently to just, you know, I decided to ignore my parents. I would see them, I would help them, I would do whatever I had to do. They were not uplifting of me. So I would just ignore them. Then they started to say, why aren't you talking to us? And so then I tried to tell them why. And then they got mad. And then they yelled. And then they started to blame shift, where they made it seem like I was at fault for all these different things, without wanting to see the things that I was trying to point out about how they hurt me. And it did nothing. So I got a letter saying, you are not welcome here. You are not allowed here. Okay? And that's fine, because it has given me the freedom to be me. It has given me the freedom to see I did right. I did okay. It's also called responsibility. Hey, Juliet. Yes, it can manifest into abuse in adult relationships. That is so true. So, one thing I wanted to say, actually, if you have your own job, maybe you could get some therapy. I think there are some free therapy sessions somewhere on the internet. You could look that up. I don't really know of any. Personally, I haven't researched that part. But if there is a way, let me put this message back up for people that maybe came in. This is the question that I'm answering, guys. If there is a way that you could get help from a professional, where it's a low cost or free, try to find it. If you are being abused over and over and over again verbally, definitely get some help. If you're being abused physically, so my dad used to beat up my brothers, and he used to throw things at me, at my head. Okay? So I just stayed away from him. to keep the peace. But there were times where I would do things to try to get his attention, and then he would throw more things at me because he didn't want to be around me. So I realized being away from my parents is the best thing for both of us, honestly, because they don't know how to deal with they have been hurt so much in their past. So I'm using my parents. They would hate this. If they saw this, they would hate this. How dare you talk about it? They would hate this, okay? My parents went through so many hard things in their childhood, each of them, really hard things. They saw a lot of things. Their parents didn't treat them well. Whole bunch of stuff, okay? My mom, she was a good mom, but she had ways that how she would treat me, where it was just a little too sheltering, too overprotective. She started to control me, manipulate me, things like that. So she never she was good, okay? But she would let things out on me that she was dealing with my dad onto me. And my dad, he just didn't know how to have relationships with anyone. He still doesn't know. It was just, some people are like that. They just don't know how to relate to people and how to just show love. And so you have to just realize, you just gotta try to understand your parents if you know anything about their background and their childhood and why maybe they're treating you the way they are. It helps you see they are definitely hurting. And am I doing better if I just yell back at them? No. Am I gonna be okay to just step away? So the fact that they actually cut the cord on me was amazing, because my brothers cut the cord on them each for 3 and 4 years each. They didn't talk to my parents at all. And so the fact that my parents decided not to talk to me, it was amazing, because I was the child that did everything for them all the time. So I'm just saying, from my own personal experience, I don't think that my parents didn't yell at me all the time. They didn't put things out on me all the time. So I don't have that experience, but I understand what it's like to have a parent treat you poorly. Oh, healthy gamer, that's cool. I understand what it's like for a parent to treat you poorly. So we all have been raised in different ways, and the only thing you could do is try to grow. Keep growing. Okay? Let me see what you guys have been saying. Honestly, so if I could go back in time, which I can't, and I've accepted that. I like where I am. I like who I am. But if I could go back in time to when I was younger and how I would have dealt with things, because I have a good attitude. I get through things very easily. I have a good attitude about things. But I've seen my friends suffer because of things their parents did. And it's hard to see and to hear those sufferings. So I think I got married at 20. Okay. So I got out of that as soon as I could, but I still tried to I tried to please my parents. I wanted them to be proud of me all the time. So I was always doing things to try to make them proud. And I know they love me. I know they love me, but we don't get along. We can't get along. I've tried all these years. It's not going to happen. And I'm okay with that. So you have to just try to accept things sometimes and be like, okay, I can't do anything to change them. They're not trying to change anything. Only I can change me and how I deal with these things that are coming to me. Only I can try to listen to my own situation and say, what am I going to do? How am I going to get out of this situation? There's always a way out. There is always a way out. So that's why I said, maybe you need a break from them in some way. Maybe you need to move away. And then maybe you can maintain a good relationship with them while moving away. So that way, they're not just yelling at you all the time. I think especially during COVID, we're under the same roof with people, and it's put a lot of stress and pressure on people. They're dealing with each other all the time. and they're starting to realize things, and they're like, I don't know, what am I going to do from this? So you're responsible for yourself and how you're going to react. That's not to say that you should just sit there and let them have their way at you. But maybe you have to just be like, you know what? I'll let them say these things, but I'm not going to let it affect me because it's not true. They're lying. Don't listen to the lies that they say because they probably don't really mean them, and they probably are lies. And they're probably things that they think about themselves, honestly. Because a lot of people do that. If they feel really poorly about themselves, they might yell at someone because they feel so poorly about themselves, and they're telling someone, you're this, you're that, but really they're saying about themselves, not you. That happens a lot. May you post a link? Yes, Daycurse. You can post any links, Daycurse. I trust you. If you have a diamond, I trust you, okay? That's why you guys have diamonds. He goes live on Twitch? Oh, that's cool. Oh, wait, I think, yeah, only mods can post links. That's right. So you have to send it to Rob. Healthy Gamer is the one that you were talking about. Joliet, thank you. It is difficult to cut those relationships. I think, you know what? I know my parents love me, and they know I love them. So I think that it's okay. They probably spout really horrible things about me. And that's fine. I know who I am. And it's probably not the person that they're telling, their friends about. I'm assured in who I am. So I think this person, with your question, find who you are, love who you are, enjoy who you are. Always look at the positive things about yourself. Even if you have to like write down a list of things that you like about yourself, little things. I like my eyes. I like the way I smile. I am good at art. I'm a good singer. I play the piano, just whatever. Like, I really enjoy gardening. I'm good at mowing the lawn, just simple little things. I'm a helpful person. I cheer up my friends, just write a list of things and reflect on those and know that those things are what matter, not the horrible things that your parents are saying to you about you, if that's what they're doing. I'm a few minutes behind. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're trusted, Daycurse. Oh, yeah. I get through things quickly singing Unicorn. But I know other people can't. And I understand that. A lot of people don't know how to handle problems when they come to them. Things are hard in life, in general, for everyone. There's something hard. You're probably all going through something hard, okay? Every single one of you, you have something going on right now in your life. I have things going on in my life that are hard. I do. But I'm going through these things with a positive attitude, trying to say, I'm going to get through each of these things. So right now, I'm on break from my parents. Maybe in the future, we'll reconnect, but I'm going to be more cautious when that happens. I'm going to be more careful of what I say, when I say it, where I say it, and how all of those things. I'm going to have to reflect and have self-control and know, like, I can't just say things to them because it's not going to change them. So I have to be the one to change for their sake. So there's this person that was asking this question, and needs this advice. I'm very sorry. I want to say sorry to you, okay? That they take things out on you. Okay? They should not be doing that. You're their child. They shouldn't be putting their problems onto you, even. Maybe when you're an adult, you can have that, like, friendship. But if you're still... I'd say if you're, like, 25 and under, they're still going to treat you like a child. So my parents still treat me like I'm 12. And so that's why I had to really like be careful. I'm not 12. And you know, I have two brothers that are older that have my back, that understand, because like I said, they both took their time away. And they encourage me and they help me. So those are people I can go to that understand what I'm going through, and they know how I was raised. And they've told me like, yeah, they don't treat you well. You know, this is toxic, things like that. So I found some people in my life that I could trust, that are there for me, that have my back. And I have friends that encourage me. So just things like that. You need to find people like that who can continually give you the words that are true about you. Okay? But at the same time, you know, you need to know if you have yelled at them in return, you need to know that was wrong. I shouldn't have yelled at them. It didn't do anything. It just made things worse. Things like that. So that way you go, next time I'm not going to scream at them. Okay. In the past, I have screamed at my parents in the past. But over the past few years, though, I've been very calm. And I'm like listening. But then I get accused of yelling when I have witnesses that are like, you didn't yell at all. I'm like, I know. So those things happen. So just be mindful of things. Be patient. Do your best to love them, because that's all you can do, honestly. Hopefully, and you can't even, as their child, you can't say to them, you need some real help here. You need to go to a therapist, I think. They're not going to listen to that. They're not going to like that. You're their child. How dare you say that to them, you know? So, again, how they're treating you is going to affect your adulthood. So Joliet even mentioned that before, like a child, how it's going to affect them in their adulthood and stuff like that. So one day, you might have children, and you've got to learn what type of parent you want to be. Do you want to be like your parents? Because most of the time we take how our parents raise us and we implement that onto our children. So there are things that in my upbringing I have put onto my children that I have had to say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be that type of parent to my child. And there are times where after maybe I raised them for a little bit in a certain way, I'm like, wait, that probably wasn't the best thing for them. Let me try to backtrack the best I can and change how I could be a better parent to them now, where I am right now. So like stuff like that. But yeah, if they're beating you up, if they're being violent, so like Kaicha said, the violence. Oh, you mean the violence? Yeah. But definitely if they're abusing you, you might have to call authorities of some sort, especially if you're underage. Like, you need some help, like legal help. Okay? Get help right away. Yeah. Yeah, it could happen in relationships too. So many relationships. It could be in friendships. It could be in relationships with boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. It could be with family members. It could be with people you work with. It could be with, people you just interact with on the street, How you react to things is very important. And I think whenever someone reacts where they start yelling back, if they act just like the person, because there were times where in the past, a while ago, if my mom started yelling at me, I would be like, calm. And she wasn't listening. So then I'm like, okay, then I will yell back at you. Is this how things work in our family? Like, I've actually said that. Like, is this how we talk to each other in the family? We yell at each other? I said that to my dad, and they got mad. And I'm like, you were yelling at me. I was just listening. And then they're like, how dare you yell at me? I'm like, you just yelled at me. And I was just trying to tell you you're yelling at me. That was basically all it was. That didn't help. So, again, things don't always help when you think they are going to. Some parents have anxiety and depression that they're not willing to. Yeah, you're right. Again, their upbringing, I think, matters, especially, like, I don't know how old your parents are. My parents are boomers. They're they were born in 47 and 50, 1947, 1950. So the way they were brought up, back then, they were like, children are better seen, not heard, you know? So that's how they raised me. And then you have the parents that were born in the 70s that might treat, you know, each decade, 60s, parents born in the 60s are going to treat their kids differently than the ones born in the 50s and 40s. People born in the 70s are going to treat, like, I just think it depends on the generation that bore you and what generation you are and how you were raised. But I definitely think people that are mindful about how they treat people in general are going to make a big difference in the lives of the next generation, no matter when they were born. Your parents are also boomers? Yeah. Anyway, guys, this was a very long answer. I'm so sorry it was so long, but I hope that the person who wrote this question, that it helped in some way. Again, know that you are loved and wonderful, okay? Thanks, Kaicho. I try not to use myself as an example, but at the same time, I understand that sometimes using personal examples can help people at the same time. So, I have to be careful. But I thought maybe that would be good for the person if they are here and listening. Because I have no idea. So, if this person, by the way, is here, A plus chill beats, yeah. If this person is here and they want to talk more and maybe have more information they want to give me, they could always send me a message in my Discord. You can let me know and I'll try to help you out best I can and encourage you. But I really recommend someone that is in your actual life, like your real life. Like, it is very important. If you've made close friends through the internet, that's great. But if there's someone in your life that's around you that maybe even has